Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Big Convos. Today, we're having a conversation with Jeannie. Today's topic is called I Am the Shame. Is it I Am the Shame? Yes, I Am the Shame. Today, we'll be exploring taboo topics that, are not discussed as we always do. A lot of things happen behind closed doors in a lot of different cultures. And I'd like to thank Jeannie for coming out today. It's very brave to discuss her journey, and even the book describes it, the shame. I'm sure Marilia will get into that part of our mindset, of our understanding. Yes, 100%. So we'll be mentioning topics such as incest, such as rape, very touchy subjects. So I'm hoping we are very gentle with you today, Jeannie, and able to explore your life journey. And, today it'd be nice to show awareness, to educate, and to show people that they don't have to live with this life trauma in silence. Families don't have to live with this in silence. And, there's help out there. And not only that, it hopefully might deter people from being the perpetrator. Hearing the
aftermath,
and the results not the results, but the help me out, Marilia.
Conviction.
The effects. That's the word I'm looking for. Sorry, the effects that it has on the individual, whether male or female.
Absolutely.
So, I do also apologize. I haven't even introduced my co-host yet. Please welcome Marilia, who has turned from a very special guest who is turned into our co-host. How has this worked out so perfectly? Thank you for joining us today. And also thank you, Mr. Manny, for also being here today, bringing your expertise as you always do.
Blessings.
Structure to the show.
Blessings.
And let's welcome Jeannie officially. And that magnificent team.
Billy and Emma.
Billy and Emma. Who are in the background working very hard to make sure this show stays at a high standard that you guys deserve. So without further ado, over to Manny to lead the direction of the show.
So before we get into anything, do you want to just give us a little, give your book a little plug for the people then?
Okay.
Yeah, tell them.
So my book, it's my autobiography of my childhood trauma of sexual abuse. And it's also focuses on self-compassion, self-help, and recovery for those who are victims as well as survivors of sexual abuse.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
What's the difference between a victim and a survivor?
Right. So a victim is someone who's still in the situation, and the survivor has overcome the situation or is living with the trauma. The trauma, the incident is gone, but the trauma is still within that person and within them.
That makes sense.
It's difficult because it's a two-way street as well, because you can be a victim and you're going through, say for instance, if there's a court hearing, you are known as the victim.
Okay.
Yeah, but reality is the victim is still going through that trauma, whereas a survivor has lived experience of that survival of the trauma. So it's similar, but there's a difference.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right then. So we'd like to start at the beginning. I've had the privilege of hearing a radio interview with yourself, doing a bit of background research to get a better understanding.
Okay.
What's the name of that radio show? So just plug in.
Yeah. With a previous guest?
Yes. Unique.
Yannick. Previous guest Unique. Yeah. Great podcast he was here. Big up Unique. Get a plug.
100%.
To Jeannie.
So
Thank you.
I heard you said that your earliest memory was when you were 6 years old.
Yeah.
There's no earlier memories than that.
There is earlier memory of that after I put pen to page, and after I had hypnotherapy, because that's what opened the Pandora box. And so then I was able to go back beyond that. But my research into my family's history made me know that I was already traumatized from the seed
Mm.
through to the womb
Mm.
and then through to existence.
Yes.
So I was already
Before you even came
traumatized
to this planet.
from the womb. Yeah,
Okay.
and my dad was the one who planted that seed.
Yes. Okay, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So let's start at the beginning. And where were you born?
Well, I was born in England, born and raised here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your earliest memory?
Earliest memory would be about 4, but that's vague. But my strong memory is from when I was 6, because something happened significant during that time that changed the whole of my dynamics.
Can we go through that?
Of course we can. So let's see where I'm going to talk from. Right. So I was living with my father and in a 3-story house, me and my older sister, who's 10 years my senior. And I never knew any other dynamics then, just I had a father and I had a sibling. And we had lodgers, and one of the lodgers was also the housekeeper.
So sorry, so you was 6 and she was 16.
16, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we're 10 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is I normally go to school with another family with loads of children. But that day, and after school, and we'd go home to their household. My sister, when she finishes school, she'd come over and pick me up and we'd go home.
Mm-hmm.
This one day, my father picked me up. I was so happy to see him because I thought, wow, Dad's come to pick me up, it's something different. And I idolized my father up until that age, because I knew no different. And then I could see he was angry, and instead of us going home, he was driving like he was going to go to look for her. But by the time we got to the end of the road, she came round the corner with one of her friends and they were giggling, as girls do. And he just started raring at her to get in the car, just screaming at her. So, long story short, turned the car around, because we hadn't even got off our road, the main road. And we went back to the house. He then said to her to go straight upstairs. And I remember the lodger, housekeeper lodger, at her doorway, because she lived on the ground floor, on the downstairs floor. So I went up after them and I could see my dad beating her with the strap. So I've gone and jumped on him to say, get off her. And then he's just shoved me off, put me out the room by the scruff of my neck and locked the door. So that's on the 2nd floor. And on the 3rd floor is our room, which is the attic room. So I sat on the step waiting. But the howling, my sister was howling that day. As a child, you don't realize, but he wasn't beating her, he was raping her. And I can't remember, because with everything, sometimes, even now, even though I've got more insight of what's happened in my life, I've still got what they call as blockers. So what I do remember, I don't remember him leaving the house, but I remember my sister going downstairs and going into the room with the female lodger. And then after that, loads of white people came into the house, and it was social services, the police. So I don't know if the housekeeper had phoned the police or what, but they turned up. And then that was the beginning of the end for my secure childhood, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
And then we were taken into urgent foster care, then into a home. And then my sister and I separated. I went on to another home, and then I never saw my sister again, and that was 1976. I never seen her again.
Have you searched for her?
I know where she is. Because, funny turns of events, you have to remember, before I came into existence, my sister grew with my mother. So the same kind of scenario with me and my sister was a scenario with my sister and my mom, but there were 5 years difference between them. Yeah, so when my mom isn't from here, she's from Jamaica, and my great-grandmother, they were in Jamaica. This is going back.
That's cool.
It's like there's this difference between your mum and ours.
Yes.
So your mum was 21.
No, she would have been 21 when I was 6, yes.
Okay, yes.
But she would have been 15 when I was born.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm backtracking a bit because you asked me about my sister and my mum.
Yes.
They were like siblings in the house,
Mm.
even though they weren't biological siblings, they were children of the
Same
family,
age, same age.
similar age in the house. So I'm going back to when my mum, because it's a generational thing, it's not just a yesterday thing,
Yeah,
it's
it's going
it
back.
stems right back,
Mm.
which I only truly fully understood, even up in age now,
Yeah.
of what my background really existed of. Yeah.
Mm.
So I think mum said she was 6 when she came here with my great grandmother, but when I did the calculations, she'd have been 7 or 8. And then, because my gran had moved to England to marry her husband over here first, so when she came, she was sending for my nan and my great nan and my mum. But my mum's papers weren't ready. My gran said to my nan, leave mum with family and she must come.
Yeah.
So nan said no, because my nan's grown up, my mum anyway, so it's like her child as well. So she said, I'm not coming without her.
So your gran being your
My
grandma's
gran-
wife?
No, so there's four or 5 generations of us in existence at one stage.
Okay.
So you've got my great grandmother, then you've got my grandmother, then you've got my mum,
Yeah.
then you've got me, and then at the time it would have been my eldest daughter. 5 generations, one, all girls, when they were still living. So my mum's mum, came to England first and left mum behind with her grandmother, which is my great grandmother.
Yes.
Then, when they did finally come a year later, mum was living with granny, but then I don't know the wholeness of how my great grandmother got with her husband, and I'll come on to that. But when my gran and her husband, my mum's stepdad, used to argue, gran would pack in a rage and then send my mum down to her grandmother's, which is my great grandmother, and my gran would go somewhere else. So my great grandmother, I refer to her as nanny, and my grandmother, granny. So you know the
Nanny,
distinction,
granny.
So, yeah, okay.
So what happened, every time they had an argument, she'd send and ship my mum down to her nanny.
This is granny.
Granny would send her to nanny. And every time she'd have to come out of school, because there's a chapter in the book that my mum wrote herself, and she tells her story, because there were still things that I wasn't clear about as well until she put pen to page for me. And she ended up staying with my great grandmother because Granny said, I can't keep taking you out of school, you just stay. And that's when the series of events changed for my mum, because my gran left her, so she detached her attachment. She came to have attachment issues because she was passed from pillar to post, even though Nanny was her initial carer. She got to know her mum, but then she had to go back to her, so she was pillar to post. And then my nan's husband, my great nanny, her husband is my father.
Your great grandfather is your father.
Yeah.
So
when your mum went with nanny, that's when she was exposed to the abuse.
Yes.
Okay.
So where's your grandfather then? Is there a grandfather?
He's in Jamaica.
He's in Jamaica.
Her father's always stayed in Jamaica.
Okay.
He's always been in Jamaica.
Okay.
She was
They both came.
They came
and
she came, yeah.
She came with your
She
grandma.
came with her grand.
Yeah, with her grandma.
Yeah,
Okay.
nanny. So when mum came to live with nanny, my father would interfere with her. And there was times when my sister would see all of this and my mum would say to her, wait for me, don't leave me. Because if she's got company or she's in the house with her, something may not happen.
Yeah.
But he used to rush my sister out the house.
Okay.
And so that he could say, I'll take you. And I think when he used to take her to school, he'd take her to, secluded places, and then he would abuse her. Yeah. Whether my great grand, knew about it or not.
Do you think she knew?
Your great grand, was there ever a relationship between your great grand and your great grandfather, or no?
They were husband and wife.
So your great grandfather or husband or wife.
Husband and wife.
And he was doing this to her granddaughter.
Her granddaughter. Well, just to bring it to a close, because you asked me something about my sister. So, So what happened is when Mum found out she was pregnant with me, my other family relatives, like their cousins, all piled up into this van and came over to that county to probably challenge them or whatever. But what happened next was they all piled back into the van and then just left them still in the house.
Wow.
So
nothing happened, nothing was resolved.
See, I did think about that. I did question to myself, like, if young girl 15-year-old gets
she
pregnant,
wasn't 15, she was
14 even,
Yeah.
then like certain family members are gonna get together and say, what's going on?
Yeah.
Or supposed to get to
They're
the
supposed to.
It looked like what was going to
happening.
happen, but it didn't. And then they were left in.
What is men? Sorry, old man.
Mainly men and women.
So
Yes, your brother's one of them anyway, and another female personality, and the men. And they left them in the house. And then Mum says that Nanny says that, because obviously he was very abusive as well. So these are the things that manipulator, gaslighter, narcissistic. These are the words and sayings that we know them to be
We
now.
understand them now.
But at that time it wasn't. And then remember, in the 60s, early 70s, women couldn't really say they're going and leaving their husbands. They'd be shunned upon. So this is why I think they had to stay to a certain degree there. In these, that's right. And so they made a pact and said, you know what, if he tries this again, so I'm going now. And I remember she said there was one time she, even when I was 4, because she couldn't finish school. She couldn't finish school like all her other friends because she was pregnant with me. So obviously, because they left at 15 and then she didn't finish school. So in that year, 15 was the year you left school. So remember, she's left the year before because she's already pregnant at 14 and has me at 15. And then she said that if he tries again, my nan said, Nanny, great grandma, said if he tries again, we'll make a plan to go in the night and leave.
Okay,
So what did he go and try to do? Start again. So the plan was they're gonna just go in the middle of the night, and when they were going, my sister begged them to take her with them, and she said, Mum said they couldn't because they know if they took her and took me, either one or the other is coming for us. So they had to make that decision, and she said that was her greatest regret in doing that she couldn't be there for me, but she couldn't also love me at the same time because of every time she looks at me.
Yeah, because she's known it's sort of great, what happened to her, trauma.
Yes.
Can I ask a quick question?
Please do.
Is your sister also your auntie?
No, not in this scenario.
Oh, okay, so my misunderstanding.
Not in this scenario. She's his daughter from Jamaica.
Okay.
He sent for her, and her mother sent her on a single airline to come here. I don't understand
Did
how
her
they
mum have
do
any
that.
clue what was going on? Did her mum have
I
any
have
clue?
no idea. This is the 70s. I'm a child. I don't know what happened in that time.
But I think obviously I'm being from a foreign country, from Brazil.
Yes.
A lot of the times people kind of fantasize about living especially England, in a foreign country, as an opportunity.
Yes.
For studies, for growth. So probably there was an element
That is true. That is the element.
thinking that they were actually offering her a better future, but actually she's being trapped into a situation that was
It is a common thing that happens in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
It's alongside where you say you're from.
Yeah.
It's also the same in like Pakistan, in India, because I've got good friends that when we talk, it's a similar story. You know, not the same but similar.
Similar, yes. Yeah.
And so my sister begged them. So unbeknown to me, as a child, don't know all of this because I'm a baby, you know, and they left me at 3 months. So I couldn't know 3 months. I couldn't know any of that situation, could I?
So how old was your sister?
She would have been 10 when they
So
left.
if you was looking after 3-month-old baby, you just like focus on that because a 3-month-old
My
like
sister and my sister and the lady and my dad.
So
Yeah,
the
for
lodger,
my
the
baby,
lodger.
Then the lodger was there, but I can only remember the lodger later on in life. So the immediate who looked after me, I don't know.
So did lodger had a relationship or anything happened to her, married with your grandfather/dad?
No, she was like not a mature woman, but she was like a mother figure for us. Do you know what I mean? And I think my sister really had a good relationship with her because when she came out of the home, because my sister was pregnant as well. It was,
For your
Yeah.
grandfather.
and she didn't keep the baby. Whereas coming back to when talking about the minibus and everything, mom would have been pregnant at the time when they came down, when they found out. And then they left. And I think one of the questions that my granny, put to my mum was, you got to get rid of it. And my mum said, no matter what the circumstances, that's why I love my mum.
She didn't.
And as much as we didn't bond until later in life,
Yeah.
I have to give up because I would not be here. My children would not be here. And for, she may not have been here. Do you know what I mean? Because this kind of scenario can make
Can send you crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the shame of
The
it.
shame attached to it.
The shame of it. She said there was one day she'd gone to the shop and she just said she just looked wild herself because obviously she's going through the trauma.
Craziness, so she's just
And one of her school friends and their parents was coming up the road and I think they were coming from church. So they were all dressed to the nine and everything. And mum just said, that feeling that came over her. And I think the friend's mum was like trying to usher the friend away to say, don't talk to her.
Because she looks like.
Not even that, she's so good, so she's damaged,
Wow.
or, she's not
So
worthy.
she
she's not-
knew. When you say she's so good, she knew what had
The
taken
friend
place.
would know because it was my mum's best friend
Wow.
when they were kids
Okay.
at school. People knew, and people from the county, even family know. And I've written in my book that, family, I've had different treatment from family, right? Because I know they know
Yes.
Of course.
where I came from.
Yeah.
So I was always going to be the shame of the
The shame
family
because of where you
anyway.
came from.
But likewise, my mother.
Why would you be the shame and not him?
Why would it? Because he's brazen, isn't he? And he's a man. So the women, you got to go right back. The women, you're the ones that do the wrong. You're the ones that's frowned upon. The men have this kind of like a demeanor, immunity.
But it's not acceptable though. And
Now it's not acceptable.
How could it even be
It
acceptable
wasn't
then?
acceptable then, but the society and the government didn't
Do
do
anything.
anything. They condoned it.
I know them days, like if a man was hitting his wife and the
That
police knocked
nothing
the
would happen.
door,
Nothing would happen.
so the police would say,
Shut the door
listen
in.
to your husband.
Listen to you. This is
That's
what
it.
I'm saying.
Pay more attention, you won't get slapped.
So it's taken years for women to be able to speak up and express themselves.
So true.
And now, even you had that Me Too campaign that came out, that was just like
So quick.
so quick. But it takes one person to speak up.
People, yeah.
Sometimes it's harder to speak up than to live with it. But then when you start to speak up about it, it's easier to live with talking about it and releasing the burden from you. So, when you say, why would they think we're the shame? Because they've got their 2.4 family. You're a child of your grandfather, your father, your uncle, your brother. You're the issue.
And now you
It's
just
it
that.
shouldn't
innocent
be.
though.
It shouldn't
The one that's
be.
carrying it, you're carrying the emotion, which one is
Yes.
carrying the pain, you're the one that's showing because you're the one you're carrying the baby instead of yourself.
Yes.
So everything when you walk into a man's been doing that behind closed doors and carrying him to society, no one will ever know what he did. But the woman, why? If she's a divorcee, she's got the suitcase to prove that she was a divorced woman and left the family behind. So we always do carry that shame for breaking our families apart, for being the ones that are the victims, because maybe we had too much ash, too much mouth. So back in the days, it wasn't like people didn't really take it seriously, they didn't really care.
And then just the stigma behind it, shame on the family.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You got to look at the bigger picture. You can't just look at the
On that
small.
point, could you say on that point though, yeah, because I'm thinking, to me now, yeah, when we was discussing this the other day, I didn't really see it, Kamalo said it sounds like it's normalised, but it feels like within your family, it was normalised.
Yes.
or accepted to
No, I don't think it was
But
accepted.
normalised.
It wasn't normalised or accepted. They
It
had
was
to
just
put
that
up
they
with
had to
it.
put up with it because
And
in
this
that
fear.
era,
Yeah.
there was no fight to have
So
that
okay,
could be have.
answer this
could be
question then,
had.
sorry. So he is related through marriage.
Yes.
What did all the men in the family that were blood related,
what did they do?
what did they have to think about this? Because
I was too young to.
Okay.
That's a question to my mother, isn't it? Not to me. I only know.
I never spoken about this again.
No, we've not really spoken apart from the part that my mum's given me in the book. She has said to me, look, I'm ready to talk if you want to talk. It's not my mum, it's me.
Right.
And the reason why is the body takes the score.
Absolutely.
I have been living with this trauma for over 40 years.
Yeah.
I've done what I've had to do and I've been successful in life. I'm not going to lie in that regard. But it doesn't take away the fact that how I felt internally, where I was the second sheep.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Where I wasn't good enough. And in turn, when people say that to you,
You take it on.
You take it
You
on, internalize it.
Yeah.
You know, and I talk about like in school. So I haven't even come onto my trauma fully yet.
Yeah.
So we're still in the episode of my mum and me being a child.
Exactly.
And so I didn't know all of these things. And I think something you asked me when we were talking separately, when did I realise how I came to be and when he's coming and why am I calling him dad but he's nanny's husband?
Oh, so you was calling him dad?
Yes, because I've always known him as
Okay,
dad.
can we just pause with it? So how did it feel
Yeah.
as an 8-year-old little girl
Yeah.
to find out that your father is also your grandfather?
Shameful, and you just feel like, you know,
It
you have to hide
it goes
you want to hide
inwards,
it, you
doesn't
want to
it?
hide that, you know.
It's not normal in
It's not
everyone else's
normal.
family.
No, it's not normal in anybody else's household. So that's when I talk about the 2.4 family,
Yeah.
which I didn't have.
Exactly, and that's a shame. A lot of shame to carry that as well. It's already embarrassing to come from a divorce, breaking up family, but then to also come from a dynamic
From
where
what you could class still as incest.
absolutely,
Even though it's not blood relative, I am sorry. If you are married to someone and that person's child becomes your stepchild, that is your child.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
If that's your grandniece or nephew, that's your grandniece or nephew. Doesn't matter because you have grandnieces and nephews through marriage. Sometimes when you're a second marriage or things like that, you just don't go. You just don't go there.
it's true.
Yeah.
And we've on that conversation, I just wanted to ask you as well because you said something about when your mum would stay. I don't know if it's your gran or your nan, but your mum would stay with her, and when there was male interest, she would say, you know, that they wouldn't want her because she's soiled.
Yeah.
So
So it was my gran. So after all of this, and they left, and mum started to have her own life and everything. She did live with my gran at certain times in her life, but then she was in relationships as well. But when she was living with my gran, and I don't think she was in a relationship as such, or someone showed an interest in her, my gran was awful. And these are the stories that my mum's telling me. She used to say, oh, I can tell them things about you that they won't want you, you know. So she was gaslighting, manipulating and being narcissistic towards her as well. So that is in our bloodline.
But do you think it could be a little bit of resentment for the fact that she knew that her husband laid with her?
Okay.
Does that make
It's
sense?
easy said than done what I'm about to say, but she shouldn't have done that. She should have sheltered her daughter as best as she could.
Her
Absolutely.
granddaughter.
No, her daughter, because I wasn't living with them. I was
Okay.
still with my dad at this time. So mum would be like probably about 18 to 20, and you know she was horrible to her.
She's holding that over her.
She held it over her
Bearing in mind she wasn't there for her
in the first place. So
And
you
it wasn't
don't
her
know if
fault.
it's her own guilt is making her react a certain way towards mum. But I can't speak for my mum. I'm only telling you snippets from what mum has told me. But I have seen my gran when she was alive in practice as well, because she was also terrible to me and she was also terrible to my own daughter as well. So I know the history of how my grandmother could be. So in my book, she's not mentioned that often because she didn't really play a real role in our family.
Protecting you and being that person.
She was fearful of him.
Oh, she was fearful.
She's fearful of him. She was fearful of him.
This could play.
This is my great grandmother I'm talking, but my
Not
granny
my
is who I was
granny.
just talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it sounds like
No. I'm getting my head around.
yeah.
So all right, let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
So we started all this from being 6 years old. Let's move on a little bit from there.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm hoping through this journey we'll be able to unpack everything.
Yeah.
So you're 6 at this moment. You said social services, police came. You've gone into
Went into an emergency foster family.
what was that family like?
It was a black family, and funny enough, my dad found us.
How?
I don't know.
Okay.
You ask me these questions,
Sorry.
like I should know them answers. I know I'm named Jeannie, I'm good, but I'm not that good.
Even thinking,
But
like,
no,
you should know you was young, but
he came to the house, and I remember being on the top of the stairs, and he was talking to the family downstairs. It might have been just family that does up fostering, or you know,
local.
it was still in the same county. We were still the same place, and so. He was at the door and he was saying, I could hear him saying, I just want to see my children, I just want to see my children. And I was so excited because remember, I still thought my dad was a hero, still then, you know what I mean?
Do you think he was a hero though?
Because we all do with our parents. They are the mirrors
Because
of
he
our
was the only
world.
parent I had, and he never showed me nothing wrong.
But it
You know what I
doesn't mean
mean?
anything, but kids just idolize their parents.
At the time I did. When he was no, it's only because now I know what it was. But at the time, that's my dad. That's who that's your caregiver. That's the person who's your security.
Exactly.
You know,
To
and
provide
as a
protector.
6-year-old, he's my protector.
Yeah.
So I remember about to say, Dad, I'm up here, or we're up here, and my sister just gone like that and muzzled me to say, be quiet. You know what I mean? Because she's more fearful of him than I am, because she knows the real him. And at that time, she was pregnant, unbeknown to me. Do you understand? It is.
Can I ask you a quick question? Do you think your father went after you because he actually missed you, or because he was the power and control that he missed?
I don't know.
Is the answer at that highest time.
They don't really connect and really create bonds, so they just like the power and the control they have around them.
I wouldn't say. No, I didn't find it that way. Still thought of him as just dad because I didn't know him
No,
different.
but I understand that you had that attachment to him, but do you think that you had that attachment to yourself? And your
I wouldn't
sister?
know because I didn't understand fully. So at that time, I couldn't say. If you're asking me for now, I would say he is an opportunist. He was an opportunist. If he could get away with it, he'd get away with it, you know. And if, say, I look back now, he was controlling. He would have been controlling of my nan, he would have been controlling of my mom, he would have been controlling of my sister, and most likely he would have been controlling of me. There is a part in there that I can remember, because I said, my youngest is 6, but when I flip back, there's some at some age when I'm younger, there's times where because he was and you saying that, I look back now and say, yes, he was a wicked man, because when I had the hypnotherapy and the Pandora started to come out the box, I had a recollection, and we were all around the table. So I would have been younger than 6. We're all around the dining room table. The ladies brought in all the food. My father was a sticker how we ate as well. So this is about control.
Absolutely.
The plates would be down, cutlery to the side. You'd have one bowl that would be meat, one bowl that would be rice or potato, one bowl that would be veg, and one bowl that would be salad. And you take out exactly what you think you can eat in that moment. Do not take any more, because you're not leaving the table until you finish it. And what happened to me on that day was I didn't want to finish the food. I took out more than you can help yourself, And I said, oh, Dad, I've got a wobbly tooth. I can't eat anymore. So this is the kid in me not fully knowing the narcissistic person he was, trying to get out of eating the food. So I said, which tooth is bothering you? So I said, it's two of them, they're wobbly. He said, all right, hold on. The man went over to the dining room table drawer, pulled out pliers, and pulled out my 2 front teeth.
So what about?
Pulled them out.
Was it actually wobbly?
One
Not
was,
that much, really.
One was,
Wow.
but the other one
And he was trying to get out of eating dinner, so he wasn't really, and he just sat there and pulled.
And then we lived in a house that had coal fire at the time, and it was still daylight when everybody rose from the table. And he said, don't let him come back. He must have gone out. He said, don't let me come back. And that plate isn't finished. I remember trying to smash the
Potatoes,
potatoes.
hide them or whatever.
To make them into smash and then cut them into four to say I could eat each segment. I sat there from dusk to dawn till it got dark, and only the fireplace the lights was flickering to keep
How old
them
was
in.
you?
I'd be about 4 or 5.
So that's an earlier memory.
So that's an earlier memory. This
That
is
is very
coming out.
traumatic.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying, but my body takes the score. So I didn't remember all of these things until I started putting pen to page.
Sorry, it pulled your teeth out.
Yeah,
It's a
but
terrible-
it's mad. It's
I've
mad.
got the blood
And
on
you
the,
still have to continue
on
eating.
the fork on my mashed potato when I'm taking
Just
it
kind
out.
of just keep.
So
Who else
yeah,
was at the table with you?
everybody rose. It was me, my dad, and my sister. And then when my sister rose, he left first, and then when my sister rose, she said, "Please try and finish the food." But you see, she knew.
Why didn't someone else just try to eat it? I know I'm asking you these questions and you're not gonna know. But
Why didn't someone try to help you?
just eat the food.
'Cause you would
Get-
eat it.
You just to get it off the plate.
Yeah, because she's scared of him as well.
So
Because
she-
already
if she
knows
finds
what
out-
type of person
If
he
she finds
is.
out that she
She
helped
might be
you,
the one who would have got it, not I. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. But she was so timid.
That's the fear, innit?
It's the fear. And then there was another lodger, tall gentleman. He came down and he lit the fire. And then he went into the kitchen as he walked past his sheepish and says, "Try eat the food." That's
Wow.
So everyone's scared of him.
everybody
Wow.
was scared.
Sorry, didn't you?
Everybody was scared of my father.
So was he abusive to men as well? Is he?
Yes, he
But there was
was.
no time.
Yes, he was. Yeah, but he was always
A bit aggressive.
a very aggressive person. And when people talk to him, they'd say, "Oh, you know, like be a bit more gentle, be a bit more like." Yeah,
And he wasn't having it.
he was having
Just
it.
sorry to cut you. We had a quick question from the crew. What was the age difference between
Great grandmother.
your dad and your mum?
30 something. I think he was 41 when I was born.
And she was 14.
14, yeah.
Okay.
And I've got some questions later on I'm going to ask them, but just to touch on it. I know that years ago, even now, like the older Jamaican men, yeah, they like the young girls. I don't know what it is. Do you know what I mean? Imagine this year, my I'm not going to say who because she's going to watch this year, but close member of my family said that there's this elder man. I can't even say his name because they don't know period. And in the community, he's a loving man. He's a great man, but he's had a stroke now. He's old.
So that's right,
He's even
that's
passed
the
away.
person.
Trust me. I think he's even passed away now. Yeah. But before he died, she must have gone to how you doing? And he's grabbed her hand and he's
Oh dear.
He hasn't got dementia or anything though.
no.
No.
And then he winked at her. Do you hear me? And she was like,
What the hell? What the hell?
She was really
confused
confused.
and like shocked and didn't even like it, like looked at him differently. And imagine this happened, probably 20 years ago. And she only told me.
And stuff with her.
Yeah.
She only told me 6 months
So
ago.
she-
Oh, so in that
living-
case, it was
she's
even
living with
younger.
that trauma.
Yeah. That's
She lived with that trauma.
Yeah, that was a trauma for her. But I just think that as well, we have to understand about generational trauma, right? And it happens to the men as well. So the reason why a lot of the men, they are like that, especially in the black communities, to do with slavery, because the men did not, they were not
Exactly.
allowed to create attachment to their families. They were literally built to work and to breed.
Yeah.
And that's it. So they haven't got that attachment one-to-one when it comes to like doing the family unit. So there's still blueprints within them that is just to mate. And that's
When
it.
he went in slavery, so you feel me?
No,
No, but it's
So
built
it's
in the
an innate thing that
generations
comes
to be a
down the
blueprint
line.
in your DNA to be that way because that's how it was for such a long period of time.
You have to
You know
remember,
what I'm saying?
you've got the slave master at the top house. He wants a woman. He comes down to the slave hole. He'll say, "I'll take your wife tonight. Thank you very much. What can you do about
Exactly.
it? Absolutely
So
nothing.
that's
So is he really,
Or
is he
your
reenacting that then?
children, or your children. Can you do anything about it? No, you can't.
No.
But in time, the men still had that kind of like control because now they're able to have their own. They then take on the slave
And do
master.
what he did.
That's right. That's right. So it is, yes, when we think about it with the logical brains, it is disturbing, it is crazy, right? But the blueprint within their DNA is that for them it doesn't mean anything.
So
It's
explain
just
it
telling
to
me that pretty much like an animal when they
Instinct.
instinct of claiming territory.
But it's not all men.
That's what
No,
I'm saying.
it's not
Yeah,
all
all
men.
of them.
No, it's not all men.
Older generation.
What is the
It's not
difference?
all- it's not all-
But
but
it's
the older ones.
But it's not all the also what just on I don't think you guys have got the answer to this yet. What makes not you because I think we come from the same place.
Yeah.
What makes one man do it then and another man not from the
Control
old
and
generation?
discipline.
What the hell?
And understanding.
Is that all it is? Just be
Fear
sorry
of
because
God. Control, discipline, fear of God, understanding what the family unit, what you should and shouldn't do. People sometimes they
Morals, values.
moral values, exactly.
Morals.
But imagine you were raised an animal, but then you don't follow a leader. You don't have any morals in terms of
No,
say
of
them.
course.
Then you're just an animal lost in the world.
And-
You do anything you want.
Yes, and I was gonna ask, do you know what type of lifestyle he like?
That's what I asked before.
Yeah,
I asked that question.
couldn't tell you that
That's
because I don't recall any of that. But he had brothers. He had a sister actually. She died death by suicide. She got her head in the oven.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So she must have been very traumatized.
Yeah.
Like,
But
it
that
would
was
take
his
someone
sister.
to do that.
Yeah.
And just stays there.
Well, I wasn't there.
No, I don't know. No, I know. I'm
That's
just-
as much as I
I know, I know.
and can relay to you.
You see, like suicide for me. Sorry to cut you. Yeah. Like, if you jump off a high-rise block, you can't stop it. It's gonna happen. But say if you can put your head on the train track, you can move last minute. If you put your head in the oven,
But the
you know what I'm saying? You put the gas on.
You got
stay
to be
in there.
determined, you
I'm
determined.
staying here.
it was a different gas to what it is now because I don't think you can gas yourself in the oven now. There's a change in the fuel.
Okay.
But that was back then when that other fuel was toxic and enabled her to do so.
A lot of trauma.
Like trauma.
I'm going to ask you a question, obviously, because as part of our journey is always about asking you the right questions because to ensure that you get the right answer out of the person.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're all talking about these things, and with that, we know this. You can't bypass these things. Because any situation happens and move on to the next thing. We have to sit with it.
Yeah.
And like for you to understand that this is not something that just happened to you, but happened to every single pretty much
Yeah.
person
In our
before
family.
you, right? How does it feel to know that this is the family tree that you came out of?
How does it feel? I feel now
Yeah.
liberated because I've spoken up and I've changed the dynamics for my girls. I've got 3 girls. I watch them. So what? See, I haven't even touched on the center part yet, but I've watched my girls like a hawk. They may have not always understood why I did what I did, but they now know why I did what I did. I hardly let them go anywhere. I vetted who they were going to be with. And sometimes I just wouldn't let them out, wouldn't let them outside because the fear of not being able to be in control for them, to protect them, was very, very hard for me.
Because you know what could happen.
I knew what could happen. And when I wrote the book, my eldest daughter was the one that edited it. And she was like, so she's hearing things as well for the first time. So then you come on the phone.
That's heavy.
Mom, I'm going to have to murder somebody. And then she got, now I'm going to have to go back and look at it objectively.
So did you ever share this to anyone your entire life? Did you carry that in yourself?
Very rare I confided in someone. Most of it I carried for my life.
That must have been very hard.
Just blocked it, really, to be honest. Just blocked it. Yeah, I just survived. Yeah. But it did have a lot of negative
Connotations.
with me personally because I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel good enough.
This is where the title comes from, I am the shame.
I am the shame. It's not just from the title, it's because of how I came to be. I was the shame. I was the shame of the family. You know, not even my own. My mum was also
The shame.
the shame.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I am my mother's shame. Do you know what I mean?
Compounded.
So you was passing down, isn't it, the shame?
Yeah. So now I'm able to speak, not only for myself but for my mum as well.
Yeah.
You know, my gran and my nan, they've closed their eyes now and they've gone.
Right, yeah.
You know, but my mum's still here, and for whatever's time left, you know, that we can try to build upon the relationship. But I'm still sometimes triggered by my mum.
Oh, your
It's
mum
not.
would be
It's not
intentional.
Yeah, it's not intentional. But as I said, I do love my mum. I love my mum because she's still in all her, in everything. She still chose to have me. You know what I mean? Even though it was a bit turbulent and all of that. But
So it's only she knew she was a kid as well.
And now that I'm just sitting here thinking about it, it's as you said, we agree morally it's ancestral, but he's not blood.
yes, but that's just that
No,
element
no,
of it.
of course.
And I'm going to come further from that, because I'm a criminal solicitor by trade, and I defended people like my father.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it, but fair play to you.
Right. So when you're
What
going to
were
say
their crimes? An example of their crime?
anything from theft, murder, incest, rape, sexual assault, you name it, I've done all of. I've been in practice for 21 years.
Defending as well.
Some people get acquitted, yeah. Some people have got acquitted, and some people have gone down. But
So it's just random questions, curiosity. Did someone ever get acquitted that you defended that you thought was guilty, and how did that make you feel?
I just let the justice serve. That's all I can do.
Wow, okay.
I swear an oath that I cannot refuse service of the people unless it's conflict of interest or unless it's they can't pay my fees. But it's legal aid as well, so somebody gets paid, we get paid. But that's not the point. Point there, what you're saying is, if that person says to me, this is how it is, if the person says to you out of their mouth, they did it, you can either, and they want you to still defend them, sorry, because if they said that, they said it, you have to advise them to plead. And if they choose not to plead, then you have to sack yourself because you've got the knowledge. Yeah. But if they tell you all the way through, you have to go by the word of what they said, and the evidence speaks for itself. Sometimes the evidence could be overwhelming that even if they plead their innocence, which that has happened, and then they still go to jail and serve the time. That is bought by the public, that is by a jury, that is not by me. All I've done is I've gathered whatever evidence I can gather in support of that person's case from the information and the source that's been given to me. And then I have to also look at the evidence from the prosecution and run that by that person and say, can you contradict that? Because it seems overwhelming to me here. But if they said to me, that's not good, that's a tree, and it's a bus. It's a tree because it sees the tree, so we can't. So for me, I've never been in that situation. But if someone has said to me, then yes, I will excuse myself, or I tell them not to take the stand or to speak, not to give no evidence, because let the prosecution bring the case against you.
Okay, that's a nice part to bring us back again. What was your schooling like?
My schooling was, when I was in the home, because I was in 2 homes, and when I was in the home, the first home, me and my sister moved there together, and I think in totality I was in both homes, maximum of 6 months. I say 3 months in one, 3 months in the other. In the first home, I was okay because my sibling was there. And then she left, and I fell down in the grounds and happened to go to the dorm to try and get plastered or something. And I could see her packing. And then that was the dorm, so where the rooms where you live in. Like a
Beacon
boarding
Break,
house.
boarding
You
school.
was in boarding school?
It was a
Place
home.
a home.
Children's
Tracy
home.
Beaker.
Children's home.
That's right, yeah. So the kids of my age, there was about 10 of us in that room. But because she was a teenager, she was in, I think it was 2 of them, but it might have been 3 of them in that room. My memory doesn't clearly come. But she had a room where it was just 2 or 3 beds in there. And I came upstairs and she happened to be packing. And I was like, I doubled back and I said, what are you doing? She says, oh, nothing. And that nothing was, I'd never guessed that I was on her again because she left.
How old was she
didn't
then?
16.
Okay, and was that the legal age when she had to leave, or was it 18?
I don't know. I don't
So
know.
it's
I
18
think,
now, you leave the
I don't know over there because if you remember, they left school at 15, so maybe, or she could have had the kid that, well, I knew and heard that the housekeeper became a guardian anyway. So maybe she
Was
could
that
have
the woman or
left
the man?
the woman that lived in the house.
Were you close at that point? Because obviously that was in a bit of a shock to you.
Yeah.
She was just dipping.
Well,
Did you feel like you were tight?
The only sister I knew. Remember, another thing that I remember as a snippet as well, how I know that my father did what he did, is we had the attic room, and when you used to drink and go to the pub, and then when you used to come in, you could hear him coming in, but then he'd see the stairs like on the frame of the door. So he was coming upstairs, and he'd bring like cherry B. Remember, we're 16 and 6. Cherry B and baby jam and cashew nuts.
For what? For who?
For us to put it on the ground, leave it on the ground when it's coming from
alcohol.
up.
You're
Yeah.
6 years old to
Yeah.
drink it.
And my sister used to say, pretend we're sleeping.
Oh, don't go for that.
No, pretend it's sleeping. So I thought it's a game. So I'm like, freeze, mannequin. And you hear the door open. And not all the time she'd have to go with him, because sometimes he'd just come
Wow, it's
stuff.
all take her.
He'd come and take it. That's what I'm trying to say to you. This is our
And
later life.
where was Granny at that point?
She gone, remember?
What is his best time?
Remember, they left me at 3 months old.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
they've gone,
6.
they've
The
gone.
only person is our parent, is our father.
Yes. So your mom and granny are gone.
They don't know any of this because they're not
Okay.
even, they're in a different county to us.
Well, they must have known because it happened to your mom, though.
Yes, well,
There's a
that's
possibility.
a question for them, isn't it? It's not a question for me.
Speaking of parents, though, your sister, did she have any relationship with her own dad?
That was
No,
her dad.
No, sorry, your
Her
mom.
mom.
Your mom, did she have any relationship with her own dad?
In Jamaica,
Yeah.
they used to just write to each
So
other.
he never knew what was going on.
She got control nothing.
Nobody
Did he
knew.
not know she was pregnant?
I don't know. That's a question for my mother. That's a question for my mother. It's a good question.
Did you get to meet him?
Oh yeah, I did. I
So
did.
he knows the situation now.
But you see, in my book as well, I do talk about that because my grandfather, my mom is one of 14.
Wow. That's
My mom is
amazing.
the second oldest. My granddad married her sister, who's the old sister's mom, who's the older sister. So remember, there's 14 of them going down. He's with the first child's
My
mom.
granddad.
Yeah, and married to her. And then he has my, I don't think he was married to her then, because he did ask my grandma for her hand in marriage when they were young, and she said no, because she was coming to England.
Sorry, just so
Yeah. You
Your-
said years ago.
your granddad married your mom's oldest sister.
This is the great granddad, though, right? Who's
No.
Your granddad.
You asked me about my mum's father.
Yeah, exactly. So your granddad, and this is someone else.
This is my grandfather and my mum's father you asked about. And
So
I
this
say
is
to you,
someone
there's a chapter in my book that I talk about infidelities.
Okay.
Because this is an
definitely on both sides.
example.
Okay.
Yeah, this is an
Okay.
example.
in the seed before you were even born.
Right.
Trauma
So
started early on both sides.
there's my auntie, who's the older one. Then there's my mum.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's 12 that follow her.
Yeah.
All right. So you asked me if I met my grandfather. Yes, I did. I went, I think, a couple of days before I was 12, because if you were 12, you'd have to pay for a flight. So we flew out 2 days before.
Okay.
So that's how I can remember certain things. So that my birthday out there. And there was one day, and my my grandfather is a butcher by trade. So he does the slaughtering, everything, and then takes them to market, the meat and everything to market. So anyway, he'd done a kill, and we were all outside, and we were cleaning this tripe, yeah? This time, when we went out there, Mum was one of 13. So, no, I think she was she's one of 12, because I think there's a younger one still, or is he the younger one? I don't know, but there's 14 of them now. So I remember we were cleaning out this tribe, and then his wife, who's my mum's eldest sister's mother, said to my mum, look over yonder. So she's looking, so we're all looking, because like, what we're looking at? And there was this young girl on a donkey, side saddle, with a belly out there.
What the hell?
And she said, that's your father's child there in the belly.
How old was the girl?
She must have been young.
She related to
She's probably about my mum's age. She's not now. If she wasn't young that. So I questioned that in my book.
Yes, indeed.
How would you be with someone knowing that your child, the only child you have, and then there's so many of these stepchildren that you do have, and you take and raise them as well. She took and raised them as well. Just like Nanny took and raised my mom, like she took and raised me. Yeah?
So there's a lot of like brokenness.
Yes,
and,
there is.
Like lack of confidence,
Yes.
direction, like
Protection.
And just protecting the family and the image, because I remember in your community, a lot of things that would happen in the community and people would just be quiet about it because it was more embarrassing people talking about it than it was living with the trauma. So they would prefer to live with the trauma, live with the shame within the family than actually people knowing what happened.
what people do know. What
But
people
don't
just talk
say
behind
it.
closed
They talk
doors.
behind closed
But not in your face.
Exactly.
But don't want to
So
talk
the-
about it even in the family or push.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah.
That's probably why you're saying that you carry that
What?
front.
Great.
You carry that shame. And yeah, that makes sense.
What we're gonna do here is we're gonna cut it here. This is the end of part 1.
Amen.
So it's I'm literally touched and very feeling this
The
emotion
very deep.
that I'm trying to even
Process everything.
processing my
Everything
own mind
is a lot.
to even think where your mind has
It's a
been
lot to take.
For
and
40 plus
exactly.
years.
So I can't even understand. So we're gonna hold it here for a minute. Bit of a cliffhanger.
And we're back.
You guys have to wait for next week.
We'll be back after these commercial breaks.
To find out exactly what's going on. Until then, it's bye from me. It's bye from Jeannie, Marilia,
Right, man.
and Manny. Ciao.
But that latest.